Welcome to Werks. This is one last look at our property from the northeast before we begin building our house. This is a view of the tree line along the 2-lane blacktop road that I have started clearing and need to grind some stumps. This is a view of the property from the southwest side. Here are some stumps that need to be ground in the tree line. I did spray them with orange paint so I wouldn't miss grinding them. I let the stumps high so they would not become a trip hazard before grinding them. I also cut the stumps much closer to the ground before grinding them down. Here's some view of the stumps along the gravel road leading to our property. Again, I sprayed them with orange paint to make them more visible. Some of the stumps were cut very close to the ground, which helps reduce grinding time. I took a couple views of the stump grinder I rented, and it performed the job well, and I only had a few issues when grinding the stumps on a sloped grade. As you can see, the stump grinder moves on tracks and was pretty mobile. I didn't have to fight to get the grinder into place for grinding, and it's held its location while grinding on a slope. The grinding creates pressure that wants to move the grinder backwards. I didn't experience any issues with movement. The cutter head was controlled by a joystick with a dead man's button on top of it. The movement of the joystick to the movement of the cutter head was very intuitive. Push it forward to lower, pull back to raise, move to the left to move the cutter head left, and move it to the right to move the cutter head right. The only thing that I didn't like was the dead man's button. It required a very hard press at all operation times and was kind of tough to press all day long. The head raises and lowers via a joystick, and it was a little touchy when lowering, and I would have liked a little less downward movement, which would have allowed me more control of the actual depth of the cutter head. The cutter head lines up straight with the left side of the machine and swings at a 90-degree arc to the right. To line up the stump grinder for grinding, you get the cutter head all the way to the left and line it up a little past the leftmost side of the stump in order to completely grind as much of the stump as possible. Then slowly lower the cutter head to start grinding the stump. I found it easier to lower the cutter head in the leftmost position and then slowly make a complete swing of the cutter head. As I made each complete pass from the left to the right and vice versa, I would lower the cutter head at the end of each pass. When I ground the stump down to where I wanted, I would raise the cutter head all the way up and then move the machine forward to repeat the grinding process. Definitely wear some face protection. I did have a few wood chips hit me in the face, but that was mostly when I was leaning towards the right side of the machine in order to view the engagement of the cutter head into the stump. You definitely want to wear safety glasses, maybe some chaps, and proper footwear. Do not let people stand in front of the grinder because it will kick some chips, rocks, and other stuff towards them. Once in a while you can see what looks like smoke, but it is actually sap and water boiling off the hot carbide cutter inserts. These trees were just cut down about a week ago. I did have to clear wood chips a few times in order to move the grinder forward, mostly due to the fact that I was grinding on a slope. We did get a close-up view of the cutter head in action. It was spinning way faster than it looks like. The close-up view shows the cutting curve of the cutter head in the stump. The final views are the finished stump ground below the surface that were shot by Mrs. GB. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, and comment.